We made a bit of progress. We have programmed the unit. However, there is a short circuit in the system, which is not very good news. Now, for sure, this is going to be an interesting one. A BMW, this is 2024 plate, i4 G series, a light front end damage. However, because of this, the car is a non-runner. So fully electric. It has some airbag triggers. Now the car comes from a body shop. They've done some work with the airbags, and at this stage the high voltage system is shut down. So we have run a scan. The car has to go into the workshop for more stripping. We're going to start doing more checks. Potentially the high voltage battery has to be removed. So keep close. Let's see how we can recover this BMW and transform it from a non-runner into a runner vehicle. So let's get it into the shop and see what we are now pushing it on the ramp so we can start work on it. Come on, lads. I was certain this is not going to be straightforward because new cars, and when it comes to electric works, they never straightforward. So the problem was that this car crash damage and it store crash data into the high voltage battery, and for that the common problem or fix is to replace this is the battery control unit from Watford. So this unit in here stores a crash data event, and because of that it shuts down all the electric system. Now this is like a distributor, power distributor inside the high voltage battery, so it basically shuts down everything. Can be reset. So I've got this unit that has to go back on the car, but before we do so we need to read the data out of the unit inside the car and we need to transfer it. So far so good. However, we have encountered another problem where the head unit is not working. See, the screen is blank, and because of that the system won't allow us to do the battery programming. So the way it works on BMW, all the system has to be, all the control units have to be online so we can perform any programming, although it's totally unrelated, the audio with the high voltage, but that's the way the software works. So see, this is the diagram. This unit, which is the head unit, is not in green, so it does not communicate. So our problem, the battery is secondary now. We have to fix the audio system first. We have to get that screen live before we can move on to the battery. So we've done some checks. We stripped the center console, and we know the problem is this unit over here. This basically integrates the audio system, navigations, all in one. So we need to replace that first, and then afterwards we have to go to our main issue to get this BMW running. So definitely not straightforward. Let's see how we're going to progress from here. We need a new part first of all, and then we're going to move on with the job. The time has come. New part has arrived, so we can move on with the BMW. We're going to replace it. We're going to go through the procedure of getting it programmed to the car. Hopefully we'll get that screen back live, and if this screen is going to be live, we should be able to move on with our main job, which is replacing the battery module, the high voltage battery module, and then eventually get this BMW in the ready mode. So we got a new part, get it to replace and move on. Old unit out. New unit ready to go. We got here several antennas. They won't make a big difference on the programming, but we're going to connect them anyway because they have to be connected. And now the programming side of it has to be completed. So now programming is completed, and what we can see here in the control unit list is the head unit is now in green, so it's back on live. And also inside the car, we can see that we have the screen on, which we did not before. Yeah, and that's, yeah, we have that on, and that's the unit down there that we replaced. That's the one. Anyway, so now we are back to our main job, which is the replacement of the SME module, so battery management electronics, high voltage battery management electronics. And the reason to replace that, I'll show you now. It is this particular fault. The Pyro fuse ignited or actuation faulty. So, like said earlier in the video, when an accident occurs within this battery, the system stops. So there's a Pyro fuse, there's an electronic actuation that will stop the control unit from distributing the power, obviously taking in consideration a crash could be a hazard. So we're going to replace this module. This is the one that is going to go on the car. We're going to take the one that is on the car and replace it with this. And we need to take over some data before we're going to drop the battery. The battery is all floor of the car. What we're going to do, we're going to follow this process here, where under control replacement, before replacement, this is a very important because we need to get the data of the battery. So we are looking for the SME module, so battery management electronics. With this procedure, we are getting the data, reading the data of the old unit, and soon we're going to turn the electricity off on the car. We're going to disconnect, and then we'll drop the battery down to get this unit out. The data is now saved. There's still some activation function for the navigation to be done, but what it was most important for us to proceed was to get the data from the old SME before we'll replace it with a new one. So now the car is going to go up in the air, disconnect the electricity, and the next we're going to have the battery, the high voltage battery down. Now this is the big battery, as we can see, all of the vehicle floor. Here is our SME module. So basically this is like a power distributor, which all those terminals, they have no power currently because internally this is switched off. When the car has been in a crash, a signal from the airbag control unit has shut this down. There's also a Pyro fuse which explodes. Now this module has to be taken out. Again, there's no live power in here. We already checked. This is the Watford module that has to go back in. There's a story with that. But anyway, we're gonna swap over the module. And here are some battery stats. If we have a look how heavy it is, 510 kilos, 354 volts, 8 packs, a lot of cells inside, but this is a standard for a high voltage battery for an electric vehicle. We made a bit of progress. We have programmed the unit. However, there's a short circuit in the system, which is not very good news. Now, we have done some more checks, and what we've noticed, we found out, so when an electric BMW like this has an accident, the airbag control unit is going to trigger obviously crash data due to the impact sensor that it has built in it, and then the unit is going to send a signal into SME module that is going to lock the operation. So as a software is going to trigger a signal that is going to stop the unit from operating. There's also a fuse that blows, but this module, it's okay. Now we have noticed there is another small but big issue, because we had this fault related with short circuit, and we only later realized that in a case of a crash, there's another part that has to be replaced. So this board, it's supplied from the SME unit, the electric unit in the front, and it goes to the combining charging unit on the top. Now that unit over there is the unit that supply also the auxiliary heaters. So those are the heaters that heat inside the car. Supplies also the air compressor, and then so there's connection to it direct from the battery, but also from the charging point. So charging point, which is on the side of the battery, this cable runs to the combined charging unit, because whenever you're going to put a car on charge, the cooling is going to kick in. So obviously he has to have power. He's not going to use the power from the battery. He's going to use the power directly from the charger to turn on the air compressor to cool everything down. So the small but big problem was this Pyro element. So what happens when the crash happened, the SME sent the signal also to this unit, and inside it caused a short circuit, obviously stopping also this from working. That's why we had the short circuit. So we had to drop again down the battery, dismantle a bit here, get to the unit, and this tiny fuse Pyro element cost about 370 pounds. It's quite expensive. Anyway, so we are waiting for a new part. Then we can assemble back the battery and resume our work from where we left it. So we've got part of the programming done on the SME, but we had a short circuit. So after replacement of this part, hopefully we're going to be closer in having the BMW up and running, having the ready sign on the dash. So this is what we're looking for, and this is where we are at the moment. So we are taking off the complete assembly, because this small Pyro fuse from BMW does not come separate. You can find it online. However, we decided we're going to replace this assembly. Basically, this is a power distributor also, and in the crash here, this has been activated and no longer distributes power to the air conditioning system. So this is what this does. And I also want to put it in perspective with another similar system, which is this is the SME, basically the module that controls all the high voltage system. So basically distributes the power from the battery towards the electric motor combined charging unit. And here we have another similar Pyro fuse and in the accident it also gets triggered. So like I said earlier, a signal from the airbag control unit gets sent out to the unit, and those basically shutting down the high voltage system, just in case there is a short circuit to any of the high voltage cables. This is important that no electricity is on those cables when a crash happens. So we're going to take the module off. We're going to replace it. Here is the connector, and then afterwards we can proceed with installing all the components on the high voltage battery, and then have it back on the car, and then hopefully from there we can get this BMW with so much needed ready sign coming on and fault free in the high voltage system. Yes, this is the unit. Here we have a maxi fuse in here, but also comes together with the new system. It's just a simple plug. I'll hold it. Yeah, I mean it stays in place anyways. Having completing the installation of the distributor of the SME, all the connectors secured, and this is the cover that now it will go back on. Yeah, I'm in place here. So we've got about 100 bolts to secure it in place. So probably this is going to take several hours to put all those bolts. So now if the battery is fully secure, we're going to put on the connectors and then 12-volt battery on, and then we're going to carry on with our programming. Let's take this apart. Let's take those onto the other side. We are now connecting the cable, the high voltage cable. This is the one from the charger that goes obviously to the SME unit. This is the one from the electric motor. We put on the service connector for the high voltage system, and now we're at the stage where we have to move on to the diagnostic and programming. First of all, I have to see, because in here it was the message, the car with the spanner in red when we turn the ignition on. So just have to see whether that has gone off. Let's turn the ignition on. The key, I don't see the key. This, I have to see if this goes off. Oh, see, went off straight away. That's a good thing. We might even have ready if we're gonna press the brake. But what I want to do first of all, I want to run the software to scan the vehicle. Doing this, we need to secure the drive shaft because the drive shaft is being disconnected, so we can roll the car. So we can take this wheel off. We've got high hopes today that we're gonna drive the car. We're not gonna push it today, yeah? That this is the moment of truth. So we've done quite a bit of programming. There's still something to do, but we are at the right time to be able to see whether it's charging. So this LED should go orange if it's charging. If it goes red, there's still an issue with the car. So let's see what's happening. Is it charging? Oh, this is good. Now this is charging. So orange and then blue, and then we should also have in the dash that is charging. So we have quite good progress. We've got the high voltage battery charging. We still have a little bit left on the programming side, but we make significant since we got this charging. High voltage is back online, and soon we're also gonna roll out with this car. So we're getting there. Now this is the exacting point of the job, because this BMW i4 is finally all together, and come to see how it looks inside after we replace the SME, the battery monitoring system, the HU system, because we couldn't program this because this unit was faulty. But finally, we've got all the components on. Dashcam on, ready sign, and we can actually engage the transmission and drive for the first time in many months. That's good, isn't it? So this was quite an interesting job, where we pushed this car in, had an accident damage. Obviously, all the high voltage system went down. We have restored it. We also had another issue with the audio system, which then we replaced and reprogrammed. So this was the BMW, not operating, now fully back online and live and drivable. Stay close for more video about the car repairs and cars in general, because we have very interesting topics coming around.